Hello my lovelies, Sophia here. Welcome to my regular viewers and to any new viewers to my channel, Sophia Psychic Tarot. Now in this video I just wanted to briefly tell you about a tarot course I've created for anyone who is interested in becoming an intuitive tarot card reader. Now what do I mean by an intuitive reader? Well, when you buy a deck of tarot cards, they come with a booklet which gives you a description of each card and their meanings in both an upright and reverse position. So you've usually got the picture, a description, what it means in an upright and what it means in a reverse position. Not all of the books are this big. It depends on the size of the box that the cards come in. So when I first got my cards, I immediately looked at the meanings of each card and laid them out into a spread suggested in most booklets called the Celtic Cross. This one here. So I laid my cards out into this spread. Once I'd laid them out, I then looked at each card in its particular place and looked at the meaning of the card in that position and so on. Well, after several times of doing this, I just became frustrated with the readings I was doing because they just didn't flow, they seemed bitty, and I just didn't seem to be getting much information from the readings I was doing. So I became very disillusioned and gave up. I didn't touch my cards for several months, but it was only because deep down I so wanted to read the cards that I got them back out and started over again. Now I'm talking 30 years ago when there was no YouTube or internet access like we have available today, so I only had books to learn from, and in some books I learned some new techniques, but they still had the card meanings in, and my readings were still not very meaningful to me. Over the years, I realised that not only are the cards just a tool, like the runes, a pendulum, a crystal ball and so forth, but that in order to get really good in-depth readings, I had to also learn how to tap into my intuition, my sixth sense. If you think about it, in a standard tarot deck, there are 78 cards. You have 22 major arcana and 56 minor arcana, and these cards are not going to change. The pictures and the meanings are going to stay the same, but when you learn how to read them intuitively, each card can turn into a moving picture. Now, I've read for many people over the years, and if I hadn't learned to read them intuitively, then each reading would have been basically the same and probably unhelpful. Okay, the cards aren't going to come out exactly the same every time because they are shuffled, but if you stick to just the meanings, then you won't add much depth to your readings. These 78 cards will remain those 78 cards and not become a personal story or movie. For example, in one particular reading I did a few years ago, I was drawn to this patch of blue in the clouds on this card. And when I looked at it, when I turned the cards over, I felt like I saw an odd-shaped aeroplane. Now, the next card drawn was the Six of Pentacles. So if I'd have read them out as their meanings are, I would have said, I have a lady here who will either ask you for help with money or ask you for some advice. However, because I'd seen this weird looking plane, I said to my client, I'm seeing a sort of aeroplane, not like one you would travel abroad in, but a funny shaped small one. And I'm seeing you getting some help financially towards it. The lady was absolutely over the moon and said, yes, I've got a microlight, but I can't use it at the moment because it's not working. But she was so thrilled that she would be getting the financial help she needed to get it fixed that it just made her reading. Now that's what I'm talking about. You can get drawn into the cards and see so many different things, and that's when you give readings that really mean something. Doing an intuitive reading can give you so much more information than just the meanings of the cards can. If you purely learn the meanings from the booklet, then you really are limiting yourself. For example, you are only seeing the tip of the iceberg instead of the rest of it beneath the surface. For example, I bought these cards and have never looked at the booklet that came with them or their meanings. Instead, I went through the pack and looked at each one of them and looked at what I could see in them and how they made me feel. There were some cards that I got absolutely nothing from them, so I just took them out. What's the point of keeping in a card that meant nothing to me and would throw me during a reading anyway? So my lovelies, whether you already got some tarot cards, are thinking of buying some, want to do professional readings, or maybe you've watched one of my videos and like the way I do a reading, whichever reason, this course will be ideal for you. The course is not expensive, as I've tried to make it accessible for lots of you who want to learn how to become an intuitive tarot card reader. So for further information on how to start this course, please see the description box below. And my lovelies, come and join me in the magical world of the tarot. I look forward to teaching you. Love and light.